everyone, and welcome to the To Be Honest podcast. Today I have Scott D. Clary on. Hi,
How's it
Scott.
going? Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being a guest on my show. It is an honor, truly. And it's been a while since we've been planning to shoot this, but it's really meaningful to me. It's about turning pain into purpose. And I thought you'd be the perfect guest to come on just because I'm really inspired by your work and your personal Instagram page. Your motivational posts in particular are really insightful and helpful towards me. So it's just an honor to have you here.
You're very kind, and I hope they're helpful. But at the end of the day, they are really just like lessons to myself.
And the world takes a lot of resonance with that, especially me. So let's just dive in, shall we?
Let's go for it.
Okay. So lately, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection and on my personal journey, not just where I've been, but who I'm becoming, learning how to transmute the energy of my difficult experiences in life into something more meaningful, creative expression, etc. And the inner work, I felt called by, I guess, my intuition or my spirit guides, or just wanting to have a better purpose on this earth. What else can I do to improve or be a better human overall?
I think that's about what most people want, by the way.
Exactly.
I think most people are. I think most people who feel unfulfilled, it's because who they are isn't aligned with what they do for work.
That's exactly what I was leaning to.
But it's some people are more than others. Some people, it's work's okay, but it's not really what I want to contribute to the world, but it pays the bills, but it doesn't tie into my purpose, and that's okay. But there's some people that are so lost. And I find that their work is so far from who they are as a person. And it's sad because life is difficult and life is tough. And it's hard to turn off work just to focus on yourself for most people, because you have bills to pay and you have to take care of your family and whatnot. So I think that hopefully if there's one thing you take away from this podcast, doesn't matter what we talk about, the most important thing is to create space in your life just to think and to pause.
Yeah.
And to understand if the life that you're living is actually the life you want to be living, or is it someone else's version of a life that you just thought would be an acceptable version and you went after it. And I think most people don't do that ever.
Yeah, they never take the time to self-reflect or even pause, it seems. So that's really good advice. Is not just surviving the hardship, but what you do to bypass that and move on to the next step to get you out of that funk or whatever that you're going through. You have to be the one to push yourself out. There's people that help you.
There's people that help you for sure, but I think that people also lie to themselves about being happy.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I actually believe. I feel that...
Go into it.
Go off.
Into it.
Yeah.
Go on.
I believe that all the people that shape us, so our parents, our peers, our teachers, all the influence that we have, good or bad, as a early child, hopefully it's good. All these people are trying to do their best, and they're saying, this is a job you should take. This is the type of life that you should live. This is, what a good life looks like. You should grow up, go to school, get an education, get a job, find a spouse, get married, have kids, whatever. And that's nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants the best for their kids, and everybody wants the best for their friends. But not enough people ever pause and ask, is this the life that I like? Why do I want kids? Why do I want to be married? Why do I want this job? And is it actually me? Or are these ideas that have been imprinted on me for the first 10, 15 years of my life, and I'm just living out someone else's dream? And I think that's difficult, because that's a difficult conversation for most people, because most people have been just sort of living on autopilot and they never actually question their belief system.
Yeah.
But when they do, then if your whole worldview starts to unravel, if you, for example, you're 45 years old and you have kids and you have a spouse, and then you're I didn't want any of this stuff.
Isn't
that's
that
really
wild?
Yes, but that's when midlife crisis happens. And
I've met people like that, and it freaks me out because I never want to be like them. No offense if they're watching, but truly.
So the point is, though, yes, I agree. I never want to live a life that's not mine. And I think a lot of people do live lives that are not theirs because they feel pressure, or they feel like they're doing the right thing. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I just study people, and I also study what makes me happy. And I don't think enough people study what makes themselves happy. I think they just are always sort of living up to someone else's expectation. I wish more people, if you're earlier on, listen to this and don't just follow the life path that you feel is right. Start to understand what your own North Star is as a person. But also, if you're later on in life, it's unfortunate if you haven't been able to do that yet. And I'm not saying you blow up your whole life, but what I am saying is you should start to understand if the path that you're on is what you actually want. And don't destroy other people's lives if there's kids and spouse involved, but you do live once. So you have to move. And a good test, I'll give you a test. So when you wake up every night, when you go to bed, pretend, not literally, obviously, but pretend that the old you of the day before has died. That old you doesn't exist anymore. And when you wake up in the morning, think about all the things you have on for that day. So think about the person that you're waking up beside. Think about, the work that you do. Think about everything, all your responsibilities for that day, and assume that all the old version of you died away, and there's like a fresh blank slate in front of you. And if you could choose the person you're with. You could choose the job you do. You could choose the business you're building fresh. Okay. Now, if you wouldn't choose that same person, if you wouldn't choose that same job, if you wouldn't choose all the activities that are your responsibilities for that day, I'm not saying that they're the wrong ones, but I'm saying that you should start to use that as a signal to ask yourself, why would I not choose my spouse? Why would I not choose my girlfriend or boyfriend? Why would I not choose my work? Why would I not choose my business? And then you have to start figuring out, well, if there's a valid reason, then you have to address that reason.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean it's too far gone. But if you wake up one day and you say, I wouldn't choose my wife, well, that means that there's a problem with that relationship. And you should either fix it or finish it.
That's what happened with me and my ex, who I think I talked to you before about.
They just go through life day after day after day with these obligations because, well, I'm not gonna divorce my wife. I've been with her for like 20 years. I'm not saying divorce your wife, but you shouldn't wake up with resentment every morning about your wife. But you should definitely take a second and just acknowledge if you have those thoughts. Most people don't even take a second and pause and acknowledge if they have thoughts of resentment towards their life. That's what I'm saying. So this exercise of like pretending your old self died, pretending you wake up as a new person, would you choose the things that you're doing again? If not, okay, why not?
I totally agree. I would say that probably like self-reflection is an elite form of self-care.
I love that.
It's emotional intelligence. It's something I think everyone should reflect on. And
Most people don't. I think that you like evaluating everything you do, the work that you do, like the people you hang out with, like all this stuff. I wish more people would have these kinds of like evaluations. And I think because on the other side of it, temporarily, it's difficult to like switch careers or it's difficult to like cut some people out.
right,
But
which is
temporary
what I've had to
difficulty,
do
whatever, that's fine. Because then like
Yeah.
long term, you're going to be
long
happier.
term. Yeah, so far it's been a couple months since I had to get rid of some people who I spoke to you about that were really maybe not the best people to have around, and it seems like a light switch went off, and ever since I cut them out, it's like my life has changed like dramatically.
Yeah, it's like this weight's been lifted. You want to know another like little strategy? I like these little. I don't like hacks in life. I think that everything worth doing does take a lot of work, but I think that they're not hacks, but little signals that you can pay attention to. So I just mentioned one about like waking up and evaluating your day. Another one that could be really interesting is when it comes to people in your life, just imagine that person is calling you like on your phone and you see their name like pop up on your phone. Like what's the immediate reaction that you get?
Wow, that's a good point.
So are you happy? Are you excited? Are you energized? Or are you like, this person's calling? And like that immediate reaction for whatever reason is your body telling you that there is something wrong with that or something good or bad
Absolutely.
with that relationship.
One of the notes here I have says is life is always sending signs, and above all, just trust your gut instinct when it comes to just people in your life, businesses, for example. If it doesn't make you feel right, if it doesn't sit right in your stomach.
You have people that call you and you see them on your phone and you're like, and you're keeping the relationship alive because you've already invested so much time in it, but you see their phone and all you wish is that they were not calling you at this moment.
Yeah.
You know, okay. This is the thing about most advice on the internet. First of all, most advice on the internet is not okay. That sounded bad. Advice on the internet, always take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
But most advice in general,
Yes.
it's telling people what they already know. They just don't have the courage to do the thing they know they have to do.
That's one of the best points that I think you reiterate in some of your posts. I love it's seeing that again is very true. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like,
Well,
you're
I mean,
like
I feel like you've gone through this sort of a lot of these things yourself. Like you're a living
alone.
example. And I don't even know all the stuff that you've gone through in life. I only have like 5%. But the 5% that we've spoken about has been about auditing your work, auditing your social circle and friend group. Like these are the things that give you a good life or not. It's like humans are social creatures, and they're social creatures, and they want social and they want meaning. So what gives you meaning? Usually your work gives you meaning. And also the other component to it, there's other components, but another major component is who you spend time around.
Absolutely.
So if the work sucks and the people suck, you are not living a great life.
So your life begins to suck. And then
Your
things
life will
unravel.
100% suck.
Things will start to unravel. And then you gain inner insight about who's right and what's wrong, what you're doing wrong, what others are doing wrong. And then you get clarity.
That immediate reaction, for whatever reason, is your body telling you that there is something wrong with that, or something good or bad
Absolutely.
with that relationship.
One of the notes here I have says is life is always sending signs, and trust your gut instinct when it comes to just people in your life, businesses, for example. If it doesn't make you feel right, if it doesn't sit right in your stomach.
You have people that call you and you see them on your phone and you're like, and you're keeping the relationship alive because you've already invested so much time in it, but you see their phone and all you wish is that they were not calling you at this moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, okay. This is the thing about most advice on the internet. First of all, most advice on the internet is not, okay, that sounded bad. Advice on the internet, always take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
But most advice in general,
Yes.
it's telling people what they already know. They just don't have the courage to do the thing they know they have to do.
That's one of the best points that I think you reiterate in some of your posts. The one thing that I wrote here, which I think is kind of genius, is your instinct is like your internal GPS. I think that was a pretty like cool thing that I thought of. It really is. It knows, your system knows before you do.
Yes.
Like your
And I think that
brain's-
more people, especially people that, listen, if you've lived life, like you can start to trust your instincts because you've lived through all these experiences. And I think that if we just, I mean, these are such cliche ideas, but it's so funny because we're so bad at just following the easy idea. We're so bad at like listening to the good advice. We self-sabotage all the time. We hang with the toxic people. We don't quit the job even though we know we should. Like we stay with the wrong person. We hang out with the wrong friends. We do the wrong activity that's not even aligned with like the life we want. Like say we want to build a business, or say we want to be like a dedicated partner, but like you're in Miami and you're going to 11 every single night. Like, okay, well, I'm sorry, but like your actions don't align with your personal North Star and what your goals are. So why not?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
no one is like,
right.
oh, I'm gonna
Right.
impress my wife by going to 11. Like that's not how most relationships work. So I don't care if you go. But if that's important to you, and trust is important to a relationship, which it is for most people, and she's not okay with that, then why would you be there?
I completely agree.
And this is why the influences that you surround yourself with are so important. Like I think that, listen, I can have a lot of cool, smart, successful, even ethical, good intentioned single friends. No problem with that. But I think that for me, if I want to have kids, if I want to have a family, I want to learn from all my couple friends and all my married friends. And I want to spend a little bit more time with them because they're living the life that I want.
You got to follow people that
100%.
you're inspired
And there's no
by.
issue with like guys being single and going out and picking up if they want to do that. But if I don't want to do that, then like 50% of the conversation with them, I'm not going to be able to participate really in.
Yeah.
It's not really something that's going to benefit me.
Yeah.
So I think that the majority of your time, just to make it easy on yourself, just spend it with people that are kind of aligned with your life. And we're talking about relationships, but I mean like business in general. You spend time with like 5 people that are building companies or 5 other podcasters, you're going to figure shit out.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't mean that like people that you want to build a podcast, doesn't mean you have to hang out with all podcast people as your only friend group. But if you do, I can guarantee you're going to have a much higher likelihood of success at that thing.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, my question is like, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I have some questions for you.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm just this is, I
I
get
love
super
this.
passionate about this because, when you put out, like I put out entrepreneurship content and like self-development content, And a lot of the topics that we're talking about tie into like self-development. And I see so many people push back on sort of like my self-development, personal improvement stuff, mostly because the answers to most people's problems are actually a lot easier and simpler than they want to admit. And to face the fact that basically their actions or lack thereof, in some cases, not all, there are totally edge cases and people that have had really, really bad hands dealt to them. But for most people, the answer that they want and the life that they want is entirely dependent on their action or their lack of action. And I think that when we have these conversations, I really like to drive this point home as much as I get shit on for it. Like, you know the shit you got to do. You know the people you got to hang out with. You know the moves you got to make. And if you don't, then like shut up about not enjoying your life, or shut up about not getting enough, or not being with the right person, or shut up about not making enough money.
Right.
You can't complain and not take action.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important points that you drive home in your social media, which is why I love it so much. Is like you always resonate like that specific point.
And it attracts the kind of person, I believe, like my content attracts the kind of person that will be successful, because they won't be offended by the message of, I got to take ownership over my own shit.
Right.
They're going to be like, it sucks, but I get it. And then I'm going to go do the thing that I got to do. All I want to do with all my content is just to help people.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, whether or not I'm teaching, like, it doesn't even have to be me. If I interview somebody and I'm talking to like a cool founder and they're teaching about how to build a business, all my shit is meant to be like, you're here, listen to a little bit of what Scott talks about or some of his cool guests, and then like hopefully you're going to be here.
I love that. When you look back at your career or your personal journey, what was a moment of pain or challenge that ended up becoming a defining source of purpose for you?
If we talk about like personal relationship and growth, I've had exes that have cheated on me. I've had business partners that have like stolen from me. Like, I mean, I've gone through most.
I think you mentioned the stealing. That hurts.
I'm trying to think of like, I don't want to name names, so that's not good. But yeah, I like basically anything that is bad that's happened in business or in relationship, it's happened to me at some point. You don't like when you don't live a quote unquote safe life, meaning like if you're trying to build a business, or if you're sort of like, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, or if like, you're not married to your like childhood, high school sweetheart, like a relationship's not going to work, a business isn't going to work, whatever is not going to work. And it's all happened to me at some point, and like you just learn from it. I mean, other things that haven't gone right. Geez, I mean, I was actually fortunate. I have to, just frame it. I did not have like a rough like childhood. Like, parents were very good. They were amazing. So I think that most of my experience and like hard lessons were me trying something and then me like learning that it's not as easy, or life, took a shit on me at some point, but it was like my own doing. So I like to take chance. I like to take risk. I like to push boundaries. I think most entrepreneurs do. I think that's kind of a personality trait that's built into us. But when you do that, like not every shot's going to work. I mean, like last week, it's not like a big thing, but I lost like a pretty sizable deal for an advertiser for the podcast, and lost about 50 grand. So, I mean, that sucks. What's the lesson? Well, there's a lot. I mean, probably in the sales process and how we're positioning ourselves, and maybe I shouldn't be so dependent on a single advertiser, and I should up the volume of there's always lessons in everything.
Do you believe that purpose is something that we discover through struggle, or something that we can consciously create, in your opinion?
Interesting. That's a really good question. I think we consciously create a naive version of what our purpose is, but then we truly uncover it through struggle. Meaning, I think it's important to say, I want to do this, even if you've never tried it before, because that's what gets, your ass off the sofa and to start doing stuff. But it will be defined and refined into something once you start to take action. So my purpose has evolved across, let's just talk with the podcast. The podcast is like my business now. That's like my main business, right? And all the content I put out. So my purpose has always been, I get a lot of fulfillment through like teaching people and helping people. Like I've always liked doing that. But like it's evolved because I've tried to do it and then like content's flopped, or I've tried to.
Same here.
But you get it, right? So then
I
your
get
purpose
it.
evolves. So then you have your North Star, but like the way to get there is shaped and architected through you taking action and through you learning what works and what doesn't work. And when like an idea comes in contact with reality, that's when your true purpose is defined. But you can't have an idea come in contact with reality if you don't have the idea in the first place.
Beautifully said.
Right?
And it pushed you into like your highest self. Or we just spoke about that, but
I mean, so like I've been super broke before, but I've never really
so have I, but I pushed myself out of
Yeah.
that so hard.
like
You and me
I
both,
moved
I
out relatively not that young, but like relatively young. Like the second I was done in university, I left my hometown and then like moved to another city and like was just kind of trying to figure it out. And I wasn't making a ton of money.
Me too. I was couch surfing for a while in LA.
So yeah, I've been like super broke, but not because like it's just because I kept taking chances. But I was happy because even when I was broke, I was still like shooting my shot at life, if that makes sense. So I'm like, I didn't really give a shit because I'm like, I'm just gonna eat shit for now on the path to something great. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I don't care because when I figure it out, this will be like this will be cool to add into my story of how I got here. You know what I mean?
That's it's so funny. You and me have such similar stories. I didn't know that part about you. That's really cool. I kind of went through a similar thing. And yeah, that really just throws you into the future.
It does.
I don't
It
know.
totally does. So
It drives you.
it does drive you but it almost like, see, this is the thing, like two people can be in the same situation and it can fire somebody up and completely demoralize the other person. And it's totally it's all about perspective, right? Yeah. So when you are living in like, if you're couch surfing, if you're living in like someone's basement, just renting a spot because you have no money and you can't afford anything else. For me, I was like, oh, this is a great part of like my origin story. Like I need to have like a little bit of struggle in this shit because like it's not, I don't want, no one's going to give a shit about my story if I was like, hey, I got a trust fund.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
like no
I've
one
met
cares.
a couple people like
So
that.
I'm like, I need a little bit of struggle in this story. So like, let me throw myself outside my comfort zone and I trust myself and I trust myself to figure it out.
Wow, you and me are so similar.
100%. But the mindset of being cool, figuring it out, usually means that you do figure it out because you trust yourself.
Oh yeah, it took me years. Like it took me years to get my first movie. Like like last year I shot my first movie, and that took me.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. I mean, it took me like 10 years to get a movie, like a serious like movie, like a horror movie with Michael Madsen. Like that was a huge honor. But 10 years, bro, I've been working my ass off to get there. It was just it felt unreal. But that's what pushing and pushing and pushing. Even when people were telling me, Rosemary, who do you think you are? You're not going to be famous. And it's not my goal to be famous. It's I'm trying to do my best to be creative and help others and like use my voice and just do things that make me more creative. Like modeling, I did that for years. I wasn't satisfied after a while. And like dancing was cool for a while, made money and it made my success, bought my first car, but that didn't make me feel happy for a while. So what else could I do? So creatively, the movies, like the acting and drama, and it's just been a really wild few years to get into that, but it's so worth it when you get there and you meet your dream people. Like my goal is to work with like Quentin Tarantino one day. So
that's one of my favorite ever.
That's my
I love
favorite,
Quentin
my
Tarantino.
favorite. But sorry, I'm
Reservoir
getting off.
Dogs, like
Yeah. Oh, Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
He needs to go rest in peace. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's amazing. He was rest in peace. He was an amazing actor. That was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Reservoir Dogs? Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the dance. And
Yeah.
We're getting a little
So
off
good.
topic. You talk a lot about mindset. What does emotional intelligence mean to you as, in your field, and how do you cultivate it?
How do you cultivate emotional intelligence? Well, what emotional intelligence means to me would be empathy, would be caring, would be, just understanding where the other person's coming from, not like imposing your belief system on them. Like when they have a problem or they have struggle, just understanding that their worldview is very different than yours. So I think that's what it means to me. And I think that when I create content, it actually frustrates me a lot when people get offended by, you might call it like the oversimplification of what it takes to be successful. It actually really upsets me because I wish for a moment they could see life through my eyes or through the eyes of like the people that I've interviewed and understand that from somebody struggling, usually like financially, like, or they're just not happy with their life or their business or their company, from where they are now, if you spend enough time listening to and taking action, like it's a lot of work, but it's not an impossible amount of work to get to the point where you actually would be happy and fulfilled. And I wish that, and this is not the majority. The majority of people, I think, like the way that I look at the world and some of the ideas that I teach over in the content that I create. But some people are like genuinely like very pissed off like it's like, this is toxic. This is either it's like toxic
What do they think
positivity
is- oh,
or
to-
like
oh,
or like
please.
it could be hustle culture. Like I mean, one thing I just got.
I kind of despise the hustle culture because
I'll give you something that's not hustle culture, but is considered to be hustle culture, which I think is a very valid idea. I just got canceled on Threads because of this. I had like 25,000. I can't remember how much. It was like 1,500 comments telling me that I was a piece of shit, basically. I left it up. You can all still go look at it. I don't care. Nothing
I don't
phases me.
have Threads, but I mean to get canceled on Threads.
People on Threads are like super opinionated anyways. But I saw like one of the comments, and the comment had 25,000 likes and the total post had over 1 million impressions. Anyways, the post was, so I said, your 9 to 5 isn't killing your dreams. Your 5 to 9 is. You have 4 hours every night and 8 hours on Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday. That's 36 hours per week, 1,872 hours per year. You could master anything with that time, but you choose Netflix and then you blame your job, and the job isn't the problem. So that was a tweet. And I get it. It's super aggressive.
You posted that on Insta too, right?
I posted everywhere.
Yeah, I think I saw
That's
that.
my content distribution
Yeah,
strategy.
yeah.
Yes. So 1.7 thousand likes, 1.7 thousand comments, which is like a bad ratio. That means I was ratioed like a motherfucker. I was ratioed like crazy. Like if you have 1.7 thousand comments, it's not people being like, oh, this is a great idea. It's like 1.7 thousand people saying like, you're an asshole. And the reason why, and the goal of this is to not say that, like people are like, well, what about commute between work? Or I have kids. I'm like, you're missing the point.
Yeah,
The point of this is to highlight that there's extra hours in a day for you to learn a skill that you can move away from the thing you don't like. But most people, not all people, not people that are working 3 jobs, not people that have to take their kids because they're a single parent. A lot of people waste a lot of time in life. A lot of people do. And if you don't need 1,800 and whatever the math was hours. What you need to do is you need to take an hour a night or 2 hours on a Saturday and learn some shit that you can sell as an entrepreneur that can allow you to quit the 9 to 5 that you are apparently telling me you hate.
Yes. Yes.
People will see that. And I say it in like this tone because I want people to understand the absurdity of how much time there is in a day. If you actually mapped it, how much time you mess around and you just F off. And even at your job, if you actually hated your job so much, like just research shit or learn shit while you're at your job. I don't know too many jobs. Like I hate to break it to most people. Like, yeah, there's jobs where you're like in the field or you're like doing something with your hands where there's no time. Every office job I've ever had, you think I worked 8 hours a day at an office job? You're kidding yourself.
Yeah.
You're fucking kidding
I've had
yourself.
office jobs.
Yeah, I know. There's like hours where if you actually cared about improving your situation, I'm not saying that like tomorrow you're going to go build $1 million company plus. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Maybe it's bigger than that, obviously, but you could learn some shit and you could spend some time.
Absolutely.
And you could find a way to escape the life you hate. But a lot of people distract themselves. But that kind of post, technically, I mean, like that's a million impressions on that post, and like 1,700 people telling me to go like fuck myself is wild. So yes, people don't like People don't like reality
No, they don't like to face reality.
because they rather look at that post and they rather say, I'm gonna tell you why I have a 30-minute commute so your math doesn't work, or I'm gonna explain why I work 8 hours and don't take a single break. I'm gonna explain to you why for the entire weekend from when I wake up to when I go to bed, I have no free time. So you can always listen. You shit on me all you want. I don't care. It's not gonna change my life. But maybe you should look at it a different way. Maybe you should say like, you know what? Maybe there's a little bit of truth in there. Maybe not 100% truth. Maybe he's being a little bit, hyperbolic. Maybe he's like, no one's going to spend 4 during the week, then plus like 8 plus 8 on the weekend. But that's my point. So, but that's the thing. So two people could even look at that, and one person's going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I do kind of slack on the weekend, or like Sunday night, like I really don't do anything but watch Netflix.
Like I saw that and I was like, fucking great. Maybe I should like lay off the Netflix this week or something.
But you don't have to completely.
But yeah,
that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. I took from that in a positive way.
But anyway, so I don't remember what the question was, but like, no, yes, people will always get mad at. Oh, it was about having like thick skin and going on social.
Oh yeah. Would you say there are parts of yourself that you had to let go of to become the person that you are today?
Yes, 1,000%.
Like what?
Fear, apprehension, imposter syndrome, limiting beliefs. All of it. And once you get to the next level, you will have all those feelings again, just at the next level.
Wow. That's a really insightful.
It never ends.
It never ends.
So you have to keep shedding past versions of yourself. So like now,
that idea.
So now, like, listen, I can have a lot of conviction, and I can have like, a lot of self-belief that I'm a good podcaster, but I mean, my podcast isn't Joe Rogan. So I'm like, okay, so how do I get it to the next level? Or maybe a limiting belief. This is a limiting belief that a lot of like small business owners have, and I consider the podcast to be like a small business. Okay, so how do I get over the limiting belief that I'm the best at everything and I can't delegate it? Like it's hard for people that have built a business. They're like, this is my baby. Yeah. I don't want to let anyone else touch it. Mm-hmm. But to build anything, you got to let other people work and you got to delegate. So I think that that's another limiting belief. And there's like at every level. You sell a company for, I interview people that have sold companies for 9 figures. I've interviewed several billionaires. And after that first exit, they get a check, which is more money than they've ever had in their business. Like say you actually get a wire really for like $100 million. Well, now you have you're a good entrepreneur. You've proven it, but now you got to prove that you're not going to screw up your kids or your family, or you're going to become a good investor. And just because you're a good entrepreneur doesn't mean you're a good investor. And you have to make sure that, well, was this luck? Or can I recreate my success? Like I just sold my business. So now I have money, but how do I not screw this up now? So these are rich people problems, but they are limiting beliefs that you'll always have to get over. So the point is not whether or not rich people have problems or not, they do, but that's besides the point. It's you will always have to conquer your mind to get to the next level. Whatever that thing is. If you're like, well, if I had 100 million, I wouldn't have, you will. If you get a check for that, you're going to worry, how do I not screw this up? How do I not screw up my kids?
Responsible.
It's a lot of responsibility. So just know that like the constant battle with your mind is one of the most important ones you'll always have to face. So don't think it'll ever go away. So you ask like, have I had to like get rid of something? Yes, always. But I still have to today, and I still will have to in 10 years from now.
That's a beautiful response.
Thank you.
Said. Well said. Sorry, I have so many questions here for you. I'm just.
Why are you apologizing for asking questions on a podcast? If anything, this is the.
I don't want to take up too much of your time now. Do you have any advice first? I mean, you and I had like a brief discussion about what I was going through a rough patch when I lost some of my friends, and I asked you like, what do you think I should do? Like, how do I get out of this funk? And even you could see from like how I was acting, how I looked, like there was sadness there in our conversation, and you kind of advised me stuff. But what can you tell people that are watching right now? How do you like reinvent yourself when you feel stuck, burned out, or uninspired?
I think surrounding yourself with people that are on the same path as you. I think that that's the easiest way to do it, because you are all going to hold yourself accountable to a higher level. And it's not just about like a one-way relationship where you just surround yourself with a whole bunch of people that are building and like you're just always asking for advice and can I pick your. It's not that. It's like, okay, so I want people in my circle that I can add value to them, they can add value to me, and we're all going to lift each other up. Like, I think that when you do that and you're around people that give you energy, like, this whole like look at your phone, see who's calling, like see if you feel good or bad. If the people that you spend time with, they give you energy, like you talk to them and like you feel elevated, you feel like lifted,
elevated. Yes.
because you know these people.
Yeah.
There are people you talk to where after a conversation, you're like, oh my God, like I want to blow my brains out. I'm so tired now. They've like brought me down. But there's people you could be tired and you chat with them and you're like happy. You're like,
Yeah, you almost feel revived. I know a couple people like that where like they text me and I smile, or like they text me and I get like,
find more people like that.
yeah,
That's the advice.
That's the stickiest truth of the truth. I think that is really wise. What is one belief or mindset shift that completely changed the trajectory of your career? I feel like these are all similar questions.
They are, but they're good questions. It's almost like you've done this more than once a year, which I hope you will.
Done too.
No, these are very good questions. I would say one belief, I'll try and pick something that's like less popular. One idea that I really love right now is the idea of obsession. So I think that obsession generally has like a negative connotation. Like people look at it as a bad thing. I think that when you're pursuing something that you like, it's good to be obsessed. And I think that's a really good signal that you're doing the right thing. So like, for example, if you caught me on like 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, I'd be researching like how to ask a better question or how to get a better hook that will lead to like more retention on a YouTube video or on an Instagram show. Like I love social. I love podcasting. I love figuring out the mechanics of how to build a podcasting media business. Is fun for me. So I am obsessed with it. So it's easier for me to do. I think that's a really good, like if you're trying to figure out where should I end up or what my North Star is. I think that what you get obsessed about is a great thing to pursue. And you could call it like passion, but it's more than passion. It's like, it's beyond passion.
It's like a calling.
It's a calling. It's for sure a calling. And it's something that you feel like you could do without being paid.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now sitting here with you.
It's fun and it lights you up, right?
I'm not monetized right now. Hopefully I will be, but it's not about the monetization. Like
but sponsors, if you're listening.
Sponsors, if you're listening, I am BetterHelp. Maybe shout out to BetterHelp. Your girl's here.
You're right, 100%.
But it's about, I wanted this to be honest, I wanted to open up conversations with people like-minded, like myself, like you, and like other people. Like I really love and admire Mel Robbins, and I don't know. It's about connecting with others and sharing, and if you're super passionate about it, like I am, like this is my baby, and you don't know how many people when I first started trying to make this show my own, people were reaching out to me being like, hey, like, it's your girl. Like, we know we haven't spoken in a while, but I heard you're making a podcast. Can I like join on? Can I be a part of the team? I'm like, no, you didn't put any of the work into it. I told you a very good idea maybe 5 months ago. I mentioned
those are also not real friends.
Those are not real friends.
Yeah, those are not.
This is not your creation. I created this.
Yes.
And this is my baby.
Anybody who is a good friend respects that and should want to help you with it,
Yeah.
not take a piece of it, but like
they wanted to be
they want to help you with it.
Yes.
It's a big difference.
Yes. I wanted to ask you, if everything disappeared tomorrow, your platforms, your business, your identity, what part of you would remain unchanged? Because I think you're a really grounded, like humble person, but very intelligent, and I think you have your shit together.
I appreciate that you're telling me I'm grounded and humble by also like boosting my ego. So
Yeah.
no, I thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. And I think that that's actually something that is important to me. One thing that's always been very important is the way that I create content, and then who I am in my private life is the same as who I am, like on camera. I think that the most disappointing thing people do is when they change their personality to become this like thing on camera. Yeah. And I think that like the one thing I'm sure it'll happen at some point, but hopefully not, where somebody says like never meet your heroes. I hate that. I would hate to have somebody who's like a fan of my content meet me in person and be like, oh, Scott's a dick.
Oh my God.
I want what you get here to be what you get when you meet me. And I think that's what I've tried to do, but I appreciate that. And I think it pretty much is really, I'm not too different. I don't really filter myself in public or in private. So whatever you get is whatever you get. But that's important. I think it's actually an important idea for all content creators to just bring themselves into their content and not try and create this like mask, because I think it's very tiring.
That's what let's be honest here. Let's be honest.
Your question was like, what would I have? I'd have everything. I'd have the most important things left. I would have, if I lost everything, I would still have my work ethic, my drive, my personality, my charisma, the things that, I mean, the things that have
Got
gotten me
you.
here, I would still have
Yeah.
those things. And those are the most important. And I would trust myself to whatever I ended up doing to build it all over again successfully, because that's the same attitude I had when I started my podcast.
I love that.
So I think that and I think that that's actually really important. It's like you keep upgrading yourself so that even if things were wiped out tomorrow, you could start a brand new business doing something like completely unrelated to what you do now, and you'd be just fine. And I think that that's something where it's like, it's not just, by the way, like your skill set. It's like your mental health, your physical health, all of it. Like if everything else was taken away, like could you, with the same energy and the same effectiveness, go and build something else again? And like I always want, for me, the answer to be yes.
Same here. I always have this like internal drive to do more and more. And recently I thought about like writing a book. And so I started writing like a little book on my laptop, and like, not a book, like a little novel about my life. And who knows, maybe one day I could turn that into something. But like we were speaking about, purpose and passion and drive, it just causes something in you. It's like a avalanche of like wanting to do good and putting stuff out there to really help people. And
But you keep
make that
improving
resonate.
yourself. Like we're very much like kindred
Yeah,
spirits. Like
yeah,
that's the
kindred
thing.
spirits. I love that.
But if you don't go through life improving even a little bit, like I'm not talking about anything crazy. Like if you're in a business, if you're like working a job right now, you should be obviously keeping your health. You should be learning about AI. You should be sort of keeping, up to date with what's happening. Why? Because if you get laid off, okay, you want the energy that you had when you were 20. You want the skills and the knowledge to go tackle a new career. Like life happens. You should always be effective. Always be like ready to go after the next thing. And I think that the most unfortunate, it's like when somebody was like laid off, or a business doesn't work out, or even like a relationship doesn't work out, but they've been coasting.
Yes, coasting.
So they let themselves go physically, mentally, intellectually. And now they're like 20 years later, and they got to like figure out, what do I do again with my life? And they've kind of like just taken their foot off like the personal improvement, self-development pedal for the past 20 years. And that's difficult. So I think that, again, if you aren't constantly even small bits improving over time, I think that you are slowly deteriorating and dying. I think that it's very
It's
important.
a sad thing.
Well, I don't even think that this is why I have different views on retirement.
Yeah.
I see people who retire, they degrade very quickly because they have no more challenge in their life. Whereas there's people that can, again, it's about not just, it's not like you're running like an Ironman, or you're like deadlifting like, like 5 plates. You are just constantly progressing across all areas of your life. And I think that you should be constantly getting better at, your relationships, your spirituality, your work, your physical health, your mental health. If you constantly are like moving forward in these areas of your life, you're going to have a very good life. But most people let all that shit degrade. And then they wonder why they're not happy, fulfilled, and they can't compete or whatever.
Yeah. I know a couple of people like that. I actually know someone that's in their 40s. I don't want to name any names or expose them, but 40-year-old, like near 40s, early 40s male, and very successful, millionaire, has a family but wants to retire. And I asked, I was curious, curiosity. I was like, why? Like, you're doing very well. And I guess they just decided, nah, I just don't want to do it anymore. I just want to focus on your family, which is fine. But to me, I could never personally imagine stopping to. I love to work. My mom was an entrepreneur. She started her own business when she was like 29 or 28. Actually, when she moved to this country, came from nothing. I personally I cannot see myself retiring so early. Not at 40. Like, I will never give. I'll be 60 and I'll
And
keep
it doesn't mean you
working.
have to
I
do the
love
same
work.
job.
Exactly.
But like find something that lights you up.
Yeah, I
and
was like-
keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
I think that I've heard people say like you always want to like stay like a little bit dangerous. Like you know what I mean? Like you want to be
Yeah.
like, okay, if everything was taken away from me, I could still kill it tomorrow. I'd still figure it out. I think that's an important way to be. I don't, but I mean,
I respect my friend who obviously wants to spend more time with his family or whatever.
as he should, but I don't think he's going to go from 40 to 100 and never do anything again.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe he'll
That's a
pursue
long
something
ass time.
different.
That is the balance of his life
Yeah.
or her life. I don't know who it is, but it's like 60
It's
years.
curious. It's just curious to me because personally, I can't. I would want to start a novel. I'd want to do this. I'd want to become an instructor. I recently took up figure skating again, and I want to teach kids how to ice skate. And I have so many things that I want to do. Just because one day it's like the lights turned on in my head, I should say, and I was like, I just want to do everything.
But you can go, you can go
there's
look
so
at
much
like
to do.
scientific studies if you don't want to listen to me. Like if you don't have anything that challenges you cognitively, like that is a quick path to Alzheimer's, dementia, deterioration. Like you do need to do things. So if you just stop, it's not healthy. Forget what you think about Scott's opinion. Like you won't live a healthy long life if you do nothing. If you stop working out, if you stop going for walks or runs or stop lifting weights, like your quality of life will be better. So whether or not you think Scott's like too hustle culture, fuck what I'm saying. Like forget about that. Like just like go look at stats. Go look at somebody who has maintained like their health, their wellness, their cognitive health, their physical health, their relationships, like maintained all these different things. And you will find studies on how much longer they live and how much healthier they live. And I think that that's what we're all here for. Like everybody wants to live longer and healthier and happier and more fulfilled lives. So why not? I'm not saying, again, do anything crazy. I'm just saying like, if you aren't growing, you're deteriorating. And I think that that's something that more people have to pay attention to.
If you aren't growing, you're deteriorating. That is such a profound statement. I love that. Can I just ask, what impact do you ultimately want to have on people? I think you just told me.
I get a lot of joy and fulfillment when I can sort of guide somebody through a difficult part of their life. And it's not like always me doing it, like with the content or whatever. Like I love teaching. I truly love teaching. My first job ever when I was very young was coaching tennis, which is like a really fun job.
Yeah, I love tennis.
It's a lot of fun.
I didn't know that.
Before paddle, yeah, no, not many people do. Before paddle existed and pickleball and all the other things. But yeah, I played a lot. I mean, I played a lot of sports growing up. Tennis was like my summer sport along with soccer and then hockey. I'm Canadian, cliche. That was my winter sport. But
figure skater over here, so
that's why not many people have spent any time on the ice in South Florida or Miami, even though now we have like a Stanley Cup winning hockey team. When I was growing up, Florida was not a hockey city for sure, that's for sure. But it's always teaching. So my first job ever was teaching kids tennis, and it was like super fulfilling. And you just see somebody who's like struggling, not doing well. You have a little bit of wisdom or experience. You teach that to that person, and then all of a sudden they're transformed into a new person. And I get a lot of fulfillment out of that. Yeah. And I think that's why I turned into like, podcaster, content creator, because that's what I'm trying to do at scale. Yeah. Like, how do I take a lesson from, great entrepreneur?
I've learned so much from just watching your Instagram stories and everything that you post. It's really beautiful work that you're doing.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
You're truly welcome, because I mean it. I tell you all the time, I'm like, oh my God, it puts a smile on my face. Just because it's nice to know that someone out there is like, has the same mindset and you were willing to speak to me when I was in a dark place. I really appreciate that. And that's why I think this episode was like, I was thinking of people I could have on, and I was like, Scott would be perfect for this. Scott would be great for this.
I'm happy to come on and to hopefully, speak about some of these ideas, because like I mentioned at the beginning, these ideas and all the things that I tweet out and all this content's just for me. It's like things that I've learned or things that I'm learning or things that have really helped me in my life. And I figure that if it's helped me, then hopefully it'll help someone else.
Yeah, definitely. I think your journey, your perspective, your honesty is really valuable to me. And I think it's going to impact so many people, hopefully, that are going to watch this. With my little 305 followers.
Wait, okay, so
but it's okay.
Just to reframe that, have you ever spoken in front of 300 people?
No, I haven't. That's actually a really good point. 300. Hopefully I'll get more. But
300, if you ever stood on stage in front of 300 people.
I've never thought of it that way. Wow, you just taught me something new. I never thought
frame
of
it that way, because that's the truth.
I mean, I really appreciate you being here and opening up with me, and it's been an honor having you on. It's truly, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you for introducing me to everybody in your community and the 300 people. But it's going to be 300 now. It's going to be 3 million.